You gonna do something with that loaf of bread, or are you just going to stare at it until it bursts into flames? Megan Flannigan looked up from the burnt loaf of banana bread currently sitting on her bakery's counter to gaze into the green eyes of her greatest nemesis, Caleb Thornton. Her heart fluttered into her throat, which annoyed her beyond anything. "I was just thinking," she retorted, "until you interrupted me. Now I'm curious what you were thinking about with that frown on your face." She opened her mouth, but closed it just as quickly. Her injured hand, cut a week prior on one of the many kitchen knives in her bakery, tingled. Or maybe it merely ached. She wasn't sure how to parse her feelings about much of anything anymore. Caleb Thornton never failed to rouse both her irritation and her desire in equal measures. With his careless good looks, green eyes, and angelic grin, he could get the devil himself to do what he wanted with his charm. Couple that with his police uniform, and he was a veritable bombshell of masculine attraction. Which was the precise reason why Megan really, really hated him. "That's none of your business," she replied primly. Taking the burnt banana bread, she tossed it into the trash with a sigh. At his raised eyebrows, she explained, "My timer broke, and I didn't realize it until I'd burnt the loaf." "It didn't look that burned." "Believe me, you wouldn't want to eat it. I can't serve that to my customers anyway." Megan had opened her bakery, The Rise and Shine, a year ago, and although she was hardly an expert in running a small business, she'd managed to attain enough success that she wasn't afraid that she'd have to close her doors. After working at odd jobs here and there in her early 20s, she'd made the terrifying decision to quit her most hated office job to start her bakery. She'd begun baking only a few years prior, and she'd discovered that she loved it. "Can I get you something, or are you just here to lurk?" she asked. Caleb barked a laugh. "How's your hand?" When she'd cut it, he'd been with her, and he'd bandaged it himself. Megan could still feel his fingers against her palm, warm and rough and gentle. She showed him her hand, which was healing nicely. "It's fine. No stitches needed. Although I've made sure to keep any knives from sitting in the sink. I'd rather not have a repeat incident." "That's probably a good idea." Megan realized with an indrawn breath that they were alone in the bakery. Again. Caleb's younger sister and Megan's one employee, Jubilee Thornton, was running an errand. It was the hour before school was let out, so Megan's usual parents and kids that came in for an afternoon snack hadn't arrived yet. How did she always end up alone with Caleb? "I'd recommend the carrot cake," she said, to answer a question he hadn't asked. She reached inside the case and began to place a piece on a plate. "This version doesn't have raisins. I think more people hate raisins than like them." She knew she was babbling. She clapped her mouth shut, trying not to blush. He took the proffered cake. "I agree. Raisins are the worst." He picked up a fork and began to eat the cake. When he groaned out loud, it sent shivers down Megan's spine. "You do have to pay for that." He reached into his back pocket and handed her a $5 bill. "That cover it?" "Good enough." She finished the transaction and said in a brisk voice, "I need to start up another loaf of banana bread before the afternoon rush. Do you need anything else?" "No, ma'am. I'm good with my cake right now." Megan went to the back to start a second batch of banana bread. If another customer came in, she'd hear the front doorbell jingle, or Caleb would yell for her. She rolled her eyes. Caleb was like an annoying skin disease. No matter how hard she tried, she could not get rid of him. She couldn't stop the smile from crossing her face at the idea of him as a skin disease. He'd love hearing that from her. As she grabbed the various ingredients for her bread, she entered into a kind of haze of baking. She was all hands and movements, her thoughts dissipating for a few blessed moments. The Caleb Thorntons of the world wouldn't bother her right now. She heard footsteps right as she was about to turn on her mixer. "Why are you back here?" she asked Caleb. "You know you don't work here, right? And why are you always so annoyed to see me?" She did not want to have this conversation. If he didn't know why she hated him, that was his problem, not hers.